Okay, so yesterday afternoon, Canadian time, evening our time, the NHL announced, well, Gary Batchman, the commissioner, announced that talks have been going on with Seattle, and they are allowed to, at the moment, put forward a provisional expansion bid for the be the 32nd team. It's in the region of 650 million US dollars. It does balance out to East-West Conference, but it doesn't balance out the divisions. It means now the West Coast Division has an extra team, and someone has to move into the Central Division to make it all even. It's probably going to be Arizona. It probably means they're going to be the Whipping Boys forevermore. Houston also had meetings with the NHL in the last month or so. They have a ready arena, unlike Seattle. They have the owner ready, but they're looking like a relocation team will go there. Same with Quebec and any other city that has been put on the table. The hope is to get this team in the league by 2020. About the time the collective bargaining agreement runs out, which will be interesting, see if they actually get to go, get the team in there before there's a possibility of an NHL lockout or player strike or any agreement not going to plan. The fact that it costs $150 million more than Vegas, it's starting to price out Canadian teams should they want to expand or relocate. It's pricing out some Canadian markets. That's an issue that broadcasters have raised, people in the know have raised. So Houston is just an afterthought at the moment, but it's not certain that Seattle are going to get the franchise, but it's looking likely. They're allowed to do a season ticket drive. So basically it's doing what Vegas did in their process. So it's looking more than likely, 80% likely, that Seattle will have a team in the next 2 years. Possibly 3 years. It's an automatic rivalry with Vancouver. That's fine. That will sell tickets. There have been hockey teams in that area before. So it's not as if it's an unknown. So that is all interesting. It overshadows the news that Carolina was sold, which brings them to some stability. It overshadows that. Most people were hoping it would be Houston, because it then balances out not only the conference but the divisions. So a team will have to move divisions. There will have to be some balancing of divisions at some point. One of the teams in LA or Arizona will have to move into the Central. And that's one of the issues with the East-West imbalance is the travel. They are allowed to, anyway, Seattle are allowed to do, this is what we know, they're allowed to do a season ticket drive to see what interest there will be, and there will be some. I have no doubt they will sell that out very quickly. All they need to do now is redevelop the arena in Seattle that is 40 years old. The arena is there, it just needs completely refurbing, and that does take time. Because Seattle has also lost its basketball team as well, so it wants to get at least 2 major league sports back in, and that is the only sticking point, whereas Houston's got an already arena. Kansas City, for example, has a ready arena. Several other cities that were linked to this possible expansion all had ready arenas, and owners possibly raring to go for either relocation or expansion. But it does make sense to expand to 32. Whether Seattle is the right location is up for debate, because it will screw up the divisions. Which is interesting, because does that mean Winnipeg moves over a division? Does that mean Detroit has to move back to the west and a team gets jiggled around? It's all conjecture. But looking at how successful Vegas has been, you can use that as a model of how to do an expansion team. They've been exceptionally successful. Looking at how successful relocation has been in Winnipeg in the last 5 years. They were an expansion team in Atlanta. It didn't work. They relocated the team to Winnipeg into a hockey market, and look at them now this season. It's taken a while to actually get success on the ice, but off the ice, they pack out that arena every home game. The fan base is there. It's a hockey mad area. They got that relocation right. So occasionally the NHL does have these brainchilds that work. It is very interesting though. The fact the amount of money has gone up by that much. Does that mean if there's a relocation or maybe another 2 franchises get joined, is it like $1 billion Canadian dollars? it is pricing out certain areas. And with the collective bargaining agreement nearly up, this is a very interesting time to have this expansion talk. They would hope, if it was Houston, it would come in next year. They would beat the collective bargaining agreement, because this comes through during the collective bargaining agreement period. Does that give the players more say-so and saying, so that money belongs to us now? Is that probably why they've raised it to 650 million? 650 million. Is that why? Because they know the players are going to want to junk it out. Because all that money at the moment goes to the league and the owners. It gets shared equally. So it's very interesting. And it's also interesting to note, okay, that when San Jose, for example, joined the league, it was 50 million for a franchise. So it's already gone up tenfold by the time Vegas joins. And it's gone up a third again when Seattle or Houston, or it's only provisionary, but it's looking like Seattle. So it's getting, if that keeps going up by that rate, because I've only watched hockey in the expansion era since '92, so this is my lifetime. If it cost 50 million to end the league in the early '90s, and now it's costing 650 million, near on 25 years later, it shows how much the game has grown. But it also, it's a bit worried that it's pricing out certain cities, certain markets, certain areas, and maybe a whole country from, getting another team. Anyway, that's my little take on the NHL possibly expanding to Seattle. It's interesting to note that Houston also had meetings, and Seattle somehow got ahead of them, even though Houston had all the prerequisites in place. They had an owner who already owns a Major League Sports team successfully, had an arena, could make an instant rivalry with Dallas. It can prove that hockey in Texas can work with Dallas Stars, and they decided to go with Seattle, where they had a team before and that team failed and had to be moved. It was very interesting. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. It's going to be an interesting story to watch and follow. I don't always do that many hockey videos on this channel, ice hockey videos, but it's a big one because it's the amount of money. And they're trying to balance the league out, but it's the amount of money. It's gone up by 150 million in 2 years. So by the time the team joins, and let's say the league one, I don't think the NHL will expand anymore. Simple. But 650 million US, that's nearly 800 million Canadian. That is a lot of money. Because the Canadian dollar is doing really bad against the American dollar. If the Canadian dollar is doing really well, it may not price out Canadian teams, but it's doing badly again. So it's what it is. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I will have some more videos for you soon.